Hi Dr. Squee, it's Adam Manning here. I just wanted to make a couple of comments. It was great fun, the game today. Thanks to Cubicle 7 for such a wonderful game. I'm still learning the game, so apologies to any of the people out there who play the game who know the rules far better than I do. Apologies if I get anything wrong, and also apologies for any historical mistakes or mispronunciations. That's all my own fault. Thank you ever so much.
And plus, it's us playing. It's just going to be silly fun. Don't take this seriously.
Absolutely. It's just good. It's a great game, great fun. Thank you.
Okay, and this is going up before the episode, so Nicola, anything you want to prime the listeners for?
Oh, just total awesomeness.
Okay. Stu, you got anything to add?
It was great.
Excellent. Now enjoy. We now join the adventure. So we're all sat down ready for the game. Adam, how do we play? What's the dealio?
Well, the idea of a role-playing game, Dr. Squee, is...
You've already got into podcast voice, I noticed this. You're going to much more dramatic. I love it. Go on. Sorry.
It's basically to have fun. So the idea is everybody plays a character. It's not a game where there's an aim to win. It's not like some role-playing games where the idea is to kill lots of monsters and grab lots of treasure. The idea is basically just to play out a character in a Doctor Who adventure. So it's very dramatic. There's not quite the emphasis on... So some role-playing games, you have figures and you move them around and things like that. There's not quite as much emphasis on that in this as some role-playing games. The rules are very simple. It's very straightforward. Basically, when you try and do something, you'll either do it automatically because it would be a normal thing like opening a door or walking across the road.
But if it's roll 6 to do that.
No. But if it's a challenge, then you have to add together two particular numbers. And I'll tell you what those are. You've got your attributes, so your strength, your resolve, all those sorts of things. Then you add those to a skill. So, for example, if Orla is trying to save somebody's life, she might add an ingenuity to her medicine skill. And then you roll 2d6 and you add that to that number. And if it's higher than the difficulty level, then you've succeeded. And there's different gradations of succeeding. So you can succeed wildly, fantastic success, or you can lose very badly in a complete catastrophe and it will go horribly wrong. And different things happen.
That's my brand of roleplay.
Yes. different things might happen depending on how successful you are. But it really is very straightforward, very simple sort of game. And as I say, the emphasis really is on role-playing. Now, Stuart, your character, I hope you don't mind, but I did make your character up before we started today.
Yeah, that's right.
Your character is a young man of 19 years of age,
Yeah.
And he was born in the year 2138. Now, by then, everybody, after a certain age, gets a cybernetic implant, so they can interface with the internet. So your character has that, albeit that now that you're in the TARDIS, you're not really linked to the internet as you know it on Earth.
Are you sure you didn't request this from Adam? This sounds like your dream.
No, I wish.
Can you cast your mind back to being a 19-year-old being all of 20 now?
Yeah.
Now that you're an old man.
Yeah.
Going back to your wild youth. So that's the basics of the character. As I say, normally in a high-tech civilization, it might be possible for him to interact with the virtual world, as it were. But at the moment, that's not happening because you're dislocated from that because you're on the TARDIS.
All right. Yeah.
You're in the TARDIS. Okay. Now, there's two things that I want you to make up, and you don't have to make them right now. It can be things that you think about. Firstly, your name.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is the future, so it might not just be a normal name, it might be a futuristic sounding name, it might have numbers in it, for example, or hashtag, or all sorts of things.
Or the word apple.
Yeah.
You're going down the Russell T Davies route there, it sounds like.
It could be Stew App.
Sure.
Stew App /Sally/13/Orange Grove.
Apple, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing to think about. Mm. And the second thing to think about is where you were born. So it doesn't have to be on Earth particularly.
Right.
By 2138, in Doctor Who chronology, humans have settled in other areas of the solar system or even beyond potentially. So I was thinking the obvious examples are the moon, and I was thinking maybe Armstrong City or something, or something like that. Aldrinville, or on Mars, for example. So,
I was actually thinking that.
So, if you want to write that down, Stuart, just a bit of background
We'll
information.
provide you with a pencil.
I've got a sharpener here, as we see. I come fully equipped, professional games mastering. with a pencil sharpener as well, my friend.
Nice. We've got all the high-tech equipment here. I love that D&D always just sticks to like just pencil and pencil sharpener.
That's it. Absolutely. That's the whole idea. Is to get us off the computers just for a little while. Okay. So.
Was this your way of easing Stuart into that as a 20-year-old? It's like, okay, you'll be away from the computer, but you can imagine you are made of a computer.
That's amazing.
Okay, it's going to stop me going cold turkey, says Stuart.
No, I don't try to be patronising, Dr. Squee.
I do it every time. Yeah. What's the point in having a boy if you can't be a little patronising?
Exactly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we take you to this interior of the TARDIS console, for the benefit...
Are you not going to talk Nicola through being Orla?
I can.
Because she's not used to being in the shoes. Like, you're stepping into Michelle's shoes here.
I am, yes.
Are they very small? Just for you, Michelle, we're making the height jokes even when you're not here.
I'm just looking and I'm thinking how very different I am to Michelle Stroke-Orla.
Well, you're very lucky. You're with me, aren't you?
Yes, exactly. I'm very different to Michelle.
So Orla is, obviously her background is very much a nurse, very experienced nurse. She also has skills in medical research as well. That's something that's been added in there thanks to a bit of background that I was given. So those, in an adventure, those
of course,
may
from where you've been
be
paying
handy.
attention to the audio plays over the years.
Yeah, yes, of course.
And you never forget details.
I scrutinised all of them before in the
every
background
year it's
work.
like, so I'm playing Ainley, the same character you've been playing every year.
So there we are, moving swiftly on. We take you, ladies and gentlemen, to the interior of the TARDIS, in flight, the time rotor oscillating up and down, the Doctor contentedly working the controls. What are you all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Orla, what are you doing in the TARDIS in the console?
Me, I've got my feet up with a rum and coke.
Lovely. That's the way to travel. Bit of in-flight entertainment.
Yeah.
Orla, you're meant to be assisting me with the controls.
Yeah, but you've got it all in hand.
Okay, I'll just stand over here and stand.
I've heard you know everything.
Well, now you say that, it does sound like me, yes.
Doctor, where are you planning on taking the TARDIS?
I'm planning a good old trip to the Eye of Orion. We never did complete the trip the way I tried there a few years ago. Had a bit of problems with my other self, so I thought we'd go back there.
For the benefit of your companions, could you describe the location a bit better?
The Eye of Orion, the most peaceful and beautiful location you could hope to go for. Nice teacher for the soul, as it were. It's imagine Earth after a thunderstorm, the relaxed calm.
The refreshment, the invigoration.
Exactly.
With a whoom, the TARDIS lands.
What?
What do you do? What do you do, lady? Stuart, have you thought of a name for you? No, there's no pressure, Stuart. I'm just intrigued.
No, I'm still thinking.
That's all right. Maybe he doesn't have a name. Maybe they don't have a. In your civilization,
That's my name.
it's
No
very
name.
much.
No name. Your name's no name.
There you go.
It's very much a communal mind in your civilization because all minds are linked together
But I
through
like
the
the idea of
interface.
no name is a name there. Like they're no names.
Very
They're known
zen.
as the no names.
Yeah, very zen.
Yeah,
Okay.
it kind of fits the idea of like the Borg mind.
But I think you ought to
course.
you would give him a name, presumably. I wonder.
If he likes to be called no name, I'll call him no name.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Probably no name.
And when I asked him what his name was, he first introduced himself. He goes, "I have no name." Okay, then no name, and it just stuck ever since.
The concept completely bewildered you, didn't it, of having an individual name?
Yes, it did, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so the TARDIS has landed. What are you going to do?
Walk
Well,
outside.
of course. Let's just check the chronometers, as I always do. I'm only joking. Let's go out there. Let's see what's happening.
Okay, you open the door. Boom.
Why is the door making that noise? I must get some 3 and 1 on this.
WD-40.
Yeah.
There is bright light coming from the doorway. There's a sort of green colour as well, clearly meaning grass. It looks like it's looking outdoors. You walk out, you can hear
No
from
name, is
outside.
that you?
No, make ingenuity plus knowledge roll. So add your ingenuity plus knowledge,
Oh, 6.
and then roll 2d6.
Okay, let's pass out the
So
dice.
two dice though in English language. in non-D&D.
8.
Okay, that's fine. Good. And then add on what you roll.
6.
Oh, son of a dice roll.
9.
So what did you roll in total?
Pardon?
What did you roll in total with the...
Oh, so it's on that one.
That's right. Yep.
So 9. Okay, 17, yeah.
The sound that you're hearing, you believe, comes from an animal. You've never seen this animal before. You're only aware of it from historical programs that you viewed in video, in your interface in your mind, or in a virtual world where you're playing, for example, a cowboy. You've seen them being ridden around. It sounds like horses in a bit of a state of panic outside the door.
Stand back, guys. I've got this. Arthur, calm. I try and use my psychic skills to calm the horse.
Okay, so you're walking outside the door.
Of course.
Okay, you walk out the door. As you walk out, you realise that you're in a very ramshackle stable. Beyond the one side of the stable that you're looking at is completely open, and that leads to a long vista of greenery. Very low-lying hills, beautiful-looking place, and with a bright sunny day. And the horses are running off helter-skelter all over the place away from you. There's a couple that are really near you that have just become startled themselves and are running off. So you're trying to calm them, are you?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, guys, on second thoughts, I thought the Eye of Harmony, that's been done. We should go somewhere with horses.
All right.
I totally meant to do this, everyone.
Okay. Okay, roll for ingenuity plus knowledge.
Okay, so ingenuity... Oh, 9, sorry.
That's all right.
Or I could look at the numbers at the front. That's an excellent suggestion too.
You
so
could.
That would
ingenuity
be
plus
too easy.
knowledge.
Yes, please.
15.
Okay.
So 2 dice?
Yes, please.
I've got to try and get... Oh no, I've got to plus it on.
I know what the difficulty number is going to be somewhere between 3 and 30. 3 is very easy, 30 is impossible.
So I've got 6 there.
Okay. You're trying to come... So what was your total in the end?
15 plus the 6 would be 21.
Okay, it works. Do you want to role play? Do you want to describe what happens?
So I've talked very calmly to the horses. I've calmed them down using my mental techniques, my kind of like mind control, if you will, but obviously consensually because I'm a Time Lord and I would never do anything so cruel as to take over another's mind. It calms and soothes, and it offers its fetlocks towards me. It offers its nose towards me for a little stroke.
Okay, all right. Yeah, the horse is it's doing a bit of whinnying, but then it calms down and just calmly stands in place as well. Right, back to No Name. You're watching this from the doorway of the TARDIS. Can you make a resolve plus survival roll, please? So add your resolve and survival. The stench is absolutely overwhelming. You've never smelled anything quite so bad in your life. This stink of dung and feces and manure is utterly overwhelming to you. So roll, give a roll. 2d6 plus those, please. That's right.
11.
You're trying your very best, but you're from the far future. You lived in a antiseptically clean, futuristic, modern city where there's no dirt of any description whatsoever.
Yeah.
So this smell from this farm is just, you've never known anything like it. And the overwhelming senses, the natural world around you, these creatures, all of it is completely overpowering. And basically, although you try and stand your ground, you can't do anything but ultimately vomit profusely on the doorstep of the TARDIS.
Nice.
Orla, where you're stood, you're seeing this happen. What are you doing? Seeing him becoming really unwell. What does Nurse Orla do?
Nurse Orla should look after... No. This is where I'm very different to Michelle. Nurse Orla comes to the rescue of No Name to assist him.
Okay. What do you do? How do you do that?
I would get him a bucket.
Okay, so you've raced back into the interior of the TARDIS.
I have.
You've managed to locate a bucket in the sanitation unit on level 3.
May I just add a bit of kind of background on
Sure.
Orla? She does sometimes also carry a bag with some medical supplies in it.
Does she?
Yes,
Okay, I'm going to shoot him up with some anti-sickness drugs too then.
Very good. Okay, make an ingenuity plus medicine roll, please.
forgot when you asked if we had any gadgets. I forgot she kind of like does.
She's got a
She's
first aid kit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7.
So if you want to roll 2d6 and add that on, please.
Which is 15.
Okay, you're able to find it works. So do you want to describe what happens?
What do you want?
What have you been using? You were saying you're going to use some hypodermic, I think.
I am, yeah. So I am giving him a hypodermic needle.
Hypodermic, that's the word. Sorry.
I just love the fact you've got to rub a bit of fancy on every word. Hypodermic needle.
Sorry.
It's beautiful.
So this is going to stop you being sick and give you no sense of smell.
Oh, lovely.
So the injection works, and you're immediately, there's a kind of washing over of just feeling a lot calmer, a lot more under control. Your internal organs are not completely rebelling against all your senses and trying to. Okay, so while that's going on, Dr. Squee, make an awareness plus ingenuity roll, please. So add your awareness and your ingenuity together and roll 2d6.
And by the way, that's a Setblinian self-cleaning bucket, I think you'll find. Very exclusive. I picked it up on my travels. So what am I adding together?
Ingenuity and survival. Sorry, big one.
Ingenuity and survival. So we got 13.
No, I beg one. Awareness and survival. Sorry, getting it wrong.
Awareness. So 4 plus. Yeah, it's 8. I prefer the last one. 8 plus 3. So 11.
You're watching. You've out of the corner of your eye. You're seeing that No Name is really suffering really badly, but thankfully Nurse Alder is able to come to his rescue. As you're watching, you see what looks like 4 leathery fingers clutching around the door of the TARDIS. It pulls back, then an extraordinary figure with a large beak, goggle-like eyes, wearing a long cloak, steps from behind the door towards you, looking
from inside
this.
the TARDIS.
From out, no, it's round the back. If you imagine
it's coming around the side of the TARDIS.
Coming around the side of the door, that's right. Looking, for the benefit of your listeners, a large figure clad in a long cloak and tunic, wielding a long stick with a hat on top and what looks to be a beak for a face, a long beak with goggle-like eyes. What do you do?
And by the way, if anyone's seen the Monty Python sketch, think of one of the Spanish Inquisition, but in black.
It looks like
For
a
the
head
outfit.
doctor.
It's quite large, quite substantial figure. It's got a big stick in its hand. You notice that it's also got a rapier in a belt. In its belt, although it's not holding it at all. It's just got holding it. The stick just looks like it could be a walking stick or it could be a weapon. You haven't got time to make it in mind. What are you doing?
I turn around and I start fast talking. Hello, old fella. How are you doing? Oh, I love the outfit choice. What a unique decision. Walking stick, very nice. And meanwhile, I'm kind of craftily just doing the scan with the sonic screwdriver.
Okay, so ingenuity plus science, please.
Okay.
And add on 2 for the sonic screwdriver.
Ingenuity plus science, that is 14 plus 2 for the sonic, 16 plus 16 plus 5, 21.
Yes, with the sonic screwdriver, it picks up as standard human, typical human from planet Earth. It's got some form of slight malnutrition. The figure that you're looking at is around 35 years of age. Looks perfectly normal. What you do notice, though, is that with the sonic screwdriver, you're picking up presences of strange animal oils and fats from somewhere around its head, possibly around in the interior of the mask. And while you're doing this, your keen Gallifreyan senses are picking up a very strong and strange sense of vinegar. A waft of odour of vinegar coming from this character.
Well, old fella, you seem to be human, just a little bit hungry. Yeah. Although it smells like you've been having some chips. Am I right? Am I right?
Have you the plague?
No, and I'm good for plague right now, thank you. I had some last week and it was enough. I'm all full.
Who are you people? What was that awful noise I heard earlier? It sounded like the devil itself. No wonder the horses are scared.
The devil, the devil. This is a Mark 40 TARDIS, I'll have you know. She was just coming from landing. Don't listen to him. Anyway, I'm the Doctor, this is Orla, and this is No Name. Very pleased to meet you.
Your accent seems very strange, sir. Where be you for?
Sorry, I've just been to Dorset recently. It's slightly messed about with my accent.
Oh.
But I'm from Gallifrey originally.
Is that in Wales?
It's all close to Wales, yeah.
I see. But you fellows, do you have the plague?
No, I don't.
No, I'm played clear.
He's pointing his stick at you, sort of as if to make up his mind what he thinks of. Yes. Are you agents of the Principal Secretary, I wonder? I hear his eyes and ears are in Shropshire these days.
Oh, Shropshire is it? Oh, okay. Well, we've just arrived in town. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting him, or the displeasure as the case may be.
Yes. I'm an agent of the Queen, you know.
The Queen lover. Was married to her once. Well, depends on which Queen. Anyway, that's another story.
I'm surprised that you haven't heard of the plague. It has struck this village very badly. England has been so far quite free of the plague, but it's very bad in Venice, did you know? The bubonic plague, I mean.
Oh, yeah, never touched this stuff myself.
Sounds very similar to the 14th century.
What do you mean? That was 100 years ago.
Seems to be re-happening.
Yes, I believe it is. But why this village, one asks. Why? Why this village? Are you a medical man?
I've been known to dabble.
Are you a doctor by any chance?
Funny you should say that. Like I say, I am the doctor.
He then grabs the face, the mask that he's wearing, and takes it off. He's a young man in his late 20s with blonde hair, cropped short. Good to meet you. My name is Dr. Gabrielle Field. I am, as I say, an agent of Her Majesty the Queen. I am trying to care for the people of this village as much as I can. And your name is no name, is that right?
Indeed it is.
And your attire, your garb is very strange, if you don't mind me saying so.
Yes, it is.
Is he from France?
Close to France, yeah.
He sort of he pushes back his cloak slightly, and he's wearing a black tunic under his cloak. When he wafts his cloak around, the smell of vinegar is really intense. Under his cloak, he's wearing a black tunic, black codpiece, black tights, and long black boots. Yes. You fellows, you don't wear the cod then, from where you are?
Look, Gabby, nice to meet you as it is. Quite a strong smell of vinegar I'm getting.
I'm surprised that you don't wear it yourself. It's to ward off the plague.
Oh,
It is such a danger in these lands.
No, I just splash on a bit of Boss for Men, I'm all good.
I see. Well, if you are a doctor, would you be so kind as to help me with some villagers that seem stricken with the plague? They could do with your assistance, I feel. And your lady friend here, I see she has the means of someone versed in the healing arts. Is that the case?
That is true, and the research of history of the plague too.
Oh, really? Oh, I see. And what are your theories on that?
The history of the plague.
Yes, indeed, I wonder. Although you are if you don't mind me saying so, a very handsome lady. I even
Betty, don't shake your head like that. That's mean. That's my money.
I would
Quite
pray.
an unusual term for a lady.
I would pray, prithee, hear what do you have to say on the matter
Of the plague.
of the history of the
Of
plague.
the history of the plague. Okay. Well, my knowledge of the history of the plague obviously came from Venice, as you very much said.
Yes.
And also, my research is more in the imbalance of the economics of the plague. Is such that obviously with a lot of loss of life,
Yes.
the workers were had more power than before. So they
The
could-
workers.
The workers.
You mean the
That's where
the
you're
peasantry?
headed.
Is that what you
They
mean?
did. So often they
The
could.
workers.
Yes. Whereas
Although I prefer you don't call her the peasantry. I mean, no, she is a nurse.
call me what you like. If I had, if I was in that position, I'd be charging you double or more for my trade.
That's very true. It's very true.
And that's what will happen.
Really?
It will.
The serfs
They
would
will-
start
the
charging
imbalance,
more?
Yes, absolutely.
Her Majesty must hear of this.
Mm-hmm.
Such a beauteous creature who speaks such wisdom. No wonder she travels with a learned man of such knowledge as yourself, the
well,
doctor.
What can I say? Every doctor needs a good nurse.
Indeed.
Or alternatively, I'm a hostage.
You're a hostage.
All up behave.
Where is your honour, sir? And his hand goes to the pommel of his rapier.
I believe she jests, my friend.
I do.
But anyway,
Gabby, easy with that thing.
I wonder that you do not walk with a rapier. Do you not live by the sword like like all men do?
I occasionally carry a cane. I produce from my pocket a cane which extends out, flashes in the air and catches in my hand. But that's about it. Put it down, put it back in my pocket.
Is that witchcraft, sir?
No, just a little trick I picked up of Tommy Cooper.
Sir Tommy Cooper?
Well,
Sir Cooper, you mean?
he should have been.
Yes, indeed. Indeed he should. But there rests the tale. Now, friends, it is the blacksmith's apprentice, young Geoffrey Simpson by name, who ails with this most horrendous crime and this most horrendous malady. May we step forth to the blacksmiths so that you and Nurse Orla and I forget your name, sir.
No name.
Yes, no name. If we step this way, and that will take us straight to the blacksmiths. Are you prepared to assist, sir?
Certainly. Always ready to help.
Very good, thank you. Could you make a coordination plus athletics roll, Nene?
3. Am I rolling 2 dice, yeah?
Yes, please. Add them together.
5.
As you're walking along, sadly, your left foot slips on a particularly horrendous pile of horse dung, and you go sliding down onto the ground. And when you manage to ultimately right yourself, you're now covered in dung.
Just the way I like
it. Patches all over you.
Yeah.
The advantage, though, is that you're starting to look more like a resident of this particular time period. Right. Okay. So. You're walking more into the village, away from the stable, walking more into the village. You see some children playing around. There's also, up on towards a hill, you can see an elderly gentleman, shall we say, not in the prime of life by any means, rather corpulent in figure, with a large straw hat on, drinking from a large pewter mug, quite happily, just sat in the sun, just completely lazy. It's just a very normal sort of scene. Dr. Field walks up to one of the doorways in the village, and an older man opens it, and Dr. Field says, "Doctor, come meet Ronald." And you walk over to him. "Greetings, I understand you're a physic. You're of the physique yourself, sir. Is that true?"
Pleased to meet you, Ronnie. Yes, I am indeed. I am the doctor.
Welcome, my friend. You must come this way if you are to help young Geoffrey. And he bids you into his house. Luckily, you've still got the benefit of the medicine, but otherwise this place would be utterly filthy and disgusting to you. There's children running around, all caked in dirt, quite happily just having the time of their life. It's a lovely family scene inside, but you're taken to the back of the house, and in the back of the house, on a straw pallet, is laid out quite a well-built young man, but he's lying just completely agog on the bed, zonked out totally. His tongue lolling out the side of his face, the side of his mouth. What are you going to do? "Doctor, please, you must nurse. You must see if you can be of help to him."
I will have a look in my first aid. I will see what I have. I think I have something in here that would help.
Very good.
Meanwhile, I'll scan him.
Okay.
You scan him. I'll have a look.
Okie dokie. Nurse, if you could make an awareness plus medicine roll, please.
Of course. 12.
You're not familiar with his condition whatsoever. It defies your knowledge. And what about you, Doctor? So you're scanning him.
Did you get anything, Orla?
I have nothing.
Okay.
Okay, ingenuity plus medicine, please.
12. Do I get anything for the song this time?
Plus 2.
15. Plus 6, 21, 22, 23, 24.
24. Yes, you're using the sonic. When the sonic is analysing the human before you, and it's telling you that this is a perfectly normal human, apart from there are strangely elevated levels of iron and sulphur in his blood system, in his blood circulatory system. For some reason, there's far too much iron and sulphur than there would be normally. It's very curious. Orla, although you don't know what to make of it, when you have been you have tried to examine him, on his shoulder you notice a rather odd bite mark that you can't really account for.
Ah, okay. I would find out why is the bite mark there?
And when you look at the bite mark, there's dried up residue of blood around it, and that seems oddly green, with an odd green tinge to it.
Have you bitten him, Doctor?
Not on the first date.
Ah.
Bite marks iron and sulphur. Intriguing. Oh, sorry, I got some iron and sulphur in his system from the scan, which I did.
Ah, interesting.
Oh, you were saying I should get an iron in my shirts?
But it hasn't yet happened, has it?
Now, if I can explain, this is Dr. Field, Dr. Gabriel Field. If I can explain, and he holds up the figure's hand, and it's wrapped in a bandage. He unpeels it. I had to cut him to examine, and Orla, you know that at this time, cutting people was quite a normal sort of procedure. Cutting people and bleeding them out was considered a way to actually make them better. Yeah, all that sort of thing. So he's cut him out, and when he unwraps the bandage, it opens the wound slightly up again, and there's more green blood seeping from the palm of his hand.
Oh, so we are thinking something
Mummy, you humans, you don't do green blood, do you? You humans, you don't do green blood, do you?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's
okay, I was just making sure. I get a bit confused. I go about a lot of planets.
They're not Vulcans that we're talking about here.
That's a different franchise. Mysterious voice in my head.
I would know more.
No. Can you make an awareness plus subterfuge roll, please?
Hopefully without taking the table down.
That might be me
6.
talking on it. Sorry.
9.
While they're examining the body, you're just sort of vaguely looking around. You cannot believe how dirty these people, how dirty this house is, how the filthy living conditions that these people live in. You are in complete culture shock. But while you do that, you notice that there's lots of straw and dirt and stuff and dust all over the floor. And when you're looking, what you do notice is that there's a kind of disturbance to all this debris in between that runs from the body to the window, and the window is a little bit open. It's like it's like a path where something has travelled, not human footsteps, but a sort of disturbance, kind of that sort of width from where the body is to where the window is. So, what do you think, Chance? What are you going to do?
Raise it.
Well, investigate it, maybe.
Investigate it. See where the trail ends.
Okay. Make an awareness plus survival roll.
Awareness plus survival. 16.
Yeah. Okay. This is all brand new to you. Following actual physical clues, but you've played video games before in your virtual world where you've had to do this sort of thing, so that you have some familiarity with these concepts from playing video games. And where you follow the trail, it goes out the window, and then when you look out the window, you can see that there's a similar kind of marking across the grass. You can see where there's long grass, and in the long grass there's a kind of path running through it where the grass has been bent over, and then you can see in the hedge at the bottom of the garden there's a hole that looks as though it might have been burnt out through the hedge. And as you walk by, as you're looking out the window, a man in his 40s, wearing a black shirt and having a vicar collar to him around his neck, is walking up the path to the blacksmith's, and he comes in and he sees you because the window's quite near to the door in this room. He says, yes, I saw you outside. My name is Cedric. I am the Chandler of this. My name is Cedric Chandler. I'm the church warden here, and I saw you outside. I don't know you, do I? Are you new to the village?
Yes, I'm quite new. Just turned up.
I see. And you visit our village in very sad times. There's the plague, And there are even worse things around in the village. Come, will you come with me to the church? I must tell you more of it. Maybe you can help.
Sure.
Okay, so he leads you off out of the building, and you walk down across the village, across the cobbled streets to the church, and you're in the churchyard. There's a few graves around and so forth, and he says, "Yes, we have such terrible times here. I do wonder if you and your new friends can help. There is the plague, and there are tales. There are tales of snatchers of bodies at night. When the moon rises, it is said that death walks the streets of this village, of Mortonbury village. There is the collector. He is known as the collector, and he wears the garb of a doctor, of the plague doctor, but he seeks bodies out and takes them. I don't know what to do. You must help us. I'm only the church warden. Our vicar has been stricken by the plague, and our constable Hugo, Constable Bright. Hugo has come down with the plague as well. We cannot help ourselves. This is the worst thing to have ever happened to our village. You must help us." What do you do? What do you say?
I say that we know someone like that.
Really?
We met them at the beginning when we came here.
I see. And did he take anybody? Did he take anybody?
Not that I know of.
It is terrifying. It really is. While you're chatting to him, suddenly your interface starts fizzing, starts buzzing, starts hissing. This is absolutely bizarre. There shouldn't be anything in this environment that is electronic or cybernetic or anything of that sort. Suddenly it's... Your interface is sort of a kind of circuitry around this part of your neck and also around the back of the base of your skull. And you're getting this kind of crackling, intermittent feeling in it. What do you do?
I check it out.
Okay, make an ingenuity plus technology roll.
Ooh, 10. 2. Sorry, 12.
Okay, you're trying to reach out to it, but every time you do, it just withdraws. So every time you try to reach out to it, it when you interface, it's like a whole environment of feeling, of emotion, of sensation. It's much more to you. It's much more real than the real world, and it's multidimensional. So you're trying to bring your presence to it, but every time you do it, backs away. So it now seems even more strange than it did before.
Yes.
Because of that. Anyway, back in the real world, this man is boy, what's wrong with you, boy? Wake up, boy. What? Have you got the plague as well? Ooh! Ooh! It's going to get us all. We're all going to die. Meanwhile, you're back. You're back with the body. So Dr. Field says, have you seen anything of this sort before ever?
Nothing springs to mind. I've seen a lot of weird things though. Sometimes it's about organising it in my head. No name, have you? No name?
And suddenly you realise No Name's gone.
I was going to ask him to scan his files. But Orla, where did No Name go?
I don't know. I think I saw him heading towards the window.
Oh, this is the problem when I've got two of you. I keep the eye on one of you, the other one just disappears. Bad enough with one of you.
Dr. Field says, do you have any further wisdom in these matters?
We can investigate. What happened to this man?
It is like all the people here. For some reason, they have been stricken with this plague. I do notice. Have you noticed that bite mark on it?
It is not like the plague that I've researched.
It is not like the bubonic plague.
No.
Yeah, what kind of plague results in bite marks?
Or green.
I dare say it, but I wonder if it is the work of the devil himself.
There's no devils here. Maybe something otherworldly, though.
Otherworldly? What do you mean?
Well, have you never thought there was more beyond what we know? You ever read your Shakespeare? More things in heaven and earth, Horatio?
Shakespeare?
You'll meet him one day.
Yes. Now, where is your young friend?
Well, that's what I want to know. Anyone around here who might have come for him or garnered his attention?
I wonder. The hour grows late. I wonder if it might be of interest to you to have dinner with me at Mortonbury Castle. I am a guest of the Lord of the Castle this evening for dinner. Lord Percival, Earl of Mortonbury. Perhaps you might be of assistance to him. He may have answers for you.
How much I'd love to have dinner. I want to check my friend's okay.
Oh, he's a young lad. Maybe he's seen some nice lass or something and thought he'd skip off.
Well, I have taught him everything I know about the ladies. He says, adjusting his bow tie.
We should go help him.
Always a critic. Okay, let's go for dinner. We'll look out for No Name on the way.
Yes, if you have no other form of shelter, the Mortonbury Castle would I'm sure they would be able to play host to you, particularly if you're able to provide any insight into the matters relating to this plague. But our young friend, where might he be? And with that, you hear a "Ah!" coming from far off in the village somewhere.
Orla! And I start running anyway.
Okay, it's coming from the location.
I start walking at a
It's coming from the location of the church. Back in the church, No Name, you're with Cedric, the church warden. We got to do something! We can't just be like this anymore! You've got to do something! This man is wildly emotional, and you're just simply not used to people being like this in the 22nd century.
Just calm down. Everything will be okay. We'll sort it out.
Okay, good. Okay, make a presence plus convince roll. So you're trying to convince him to calm down.
It's the passion and the appeal I like. Just calm down. You're from the 22nd century and you're robotic, maybe that's how you do it. I like it.
Or was it presence
It's
and...
very characterful.
Presence and convince. 11. Okay. Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I'm not going to help anybody if I'm a complete wreck. There's no way that I can be of assistance to anybody in this, like this. And with that, so you walk up to the church and you're able to find No Name. And then Dr. Field says, come this way. And you're marching off to the castle. The castle is on a low hill, and on one side of it is the River Bevan. It's a very sumptuous, robust-looking castle. And at the castle gate, there are two armoured guards holding poleaxes, and they stand silently in the gateway behind the drawbridge. What business have you with the Baron?
Just came for dinner, really.
I see. Make an awareness plus ingenuity roll, Doctor.
Plus 10, so 23.
23. You notice that the guards seem really on edge, and there's in their eye they look really nervous. There's something very odd about this. They seem really very, very quite scared almost about something or other.
Guys, you seem to panic. What's wrong?
Well, this castle is touched with plague. Lots of me and my men have come down with the plague. It's everywhere. But there's nothing to be done. We're all going to succumb to it eventually, I'm sure.
There's always something that can be done. But what you need to do first is let me in.
Okay, make a presence plus convince roll.
Presence 4. I'm more presentable than that. Presence and what?
Convince.
Presence and convince is 4, so 8. Plus 8 plus 7, so 15.
Yes, you may enter. I will send first for Sir Aldrich, the captain of the guard. And so he goes off. This particular guard goes back into the castle. And out comes a very dashing-looking, handsome young man with blonde hair and a goatee beard and a fine moustache, wearing a leather jerkin. I am Sir Aldrich Hanson, captain of the guard. Who might you be?
Nice jerkin, Ulrich. My name's the Doctor, and this just catching up with me now.
Hi,
Keep
Orla.
moving.
Hi.
Lady Orla, you are most welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, flirting begins already, every time.
You have Dr. Field with you, I see. Then you are welcome for dinner here at Mortonbury Castle. I will make provision for you and advise Lord Percival, Baron of Mortonbury Castle, that you are to be welcome for dinner.
Okay, one of our friends has gone missing. If you could keep your eye out for him, please.
What is his name?
No name.
No, what is his name?
No name.
You jest, sir. What is his name?
His name is no name.
Oh, I see.
He's got a very shiny cravat around his neck. You can't miss him. Quite a tall fella.
Yes. Very well then. Lady Orla, please do me the honour. And he holds out his hand.
Mm-hmm.
So do you take it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Lead on.
So he's as you walk off, you realise his tights are particularly tight, and he's wearing a very impressive codpiece. And walk together at the front of the party, walking into the castle. Meanwhile, No Name, you've slipped away. So I take it No Name. I thought No Name was with you, to be honest with you. I thought
he was at the church.
Okay, fair enough.
So he split apart and went to the church. Did we grab him on the way?
Yes.
Sorry.
That was my impression.
I was confused by that. We only said we ran through and we were in the castle. I didn't realise we got him on the way past. Okay. Oh, sorry, there he is. He's just a bit further behind still.
Very good. So you're walking inside the castle. Orla, can you make an awareness plus ingenuity roll, please?
Of course. That is 13.
Although you don't know a great deal about military matters, it seems to you that the castle seems peculiarly undermanned. There's just an odd guard here and there. You would expect, although you're not a history buff particularly, your impression would have been that there ought to be far more guards than there really are. It does seem very strange.
It does. They're off, but then they could have the plague.
Yes, indeed. Yes, my lady, we are. If our castle seems understaffed, it is because many of my men are poorly. I wonder do you have the healing arts yourself?
I do, yes, I can assist.
Would you and your friends care to see perhaps after dinner you might tend on them sometime? Dr. Field does his very best, and then of course we have Robert the Quack, as he is known, who sometimes helps as well. But more hands they could.
He's part duck. I've met his race before.
Really? No, he's a quack, you know.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. I'm getting confused.
He's a bit obtuse, your friend, isn't he?
You've heard the wrong tales.
Look, the planet Millard is nothing to mess with.
Okay, so after being admitted to the keep, you're led into a council chamber. Sat on a very large chair next to a table is a rather corpulent, short-looking man. Welcome to you all. My name is Lord Percival, and you are welcome to Mortonbury Castle. You are the doctor, so my men tell me.
Yes.
Indeed.
And this is Orla.
Orla, and you are...
I am No Name.
You are Duke No Name, is that right? My men tell me.
I am that.
You are, or perhaps you would care for some. Your clothes look dishevelled and dirty, if you don't mind me saying so. Perhaps you might care for some more appropriate dinner garb.
You're correct. Their clothes do look dishevelled and dirty. They should change. He says again, adjusting his bow tie.
Normally, I wouldn't be quite so hospitable, but the plague has found itself into my walls, so I have plenty of fruit to help yourselves here. And from this time period, fruit would actually be a bit of a delicacy. And to have a plentiful supply of apples and pears, and even the odd banana, for example, from the New World, is just extraordinary.
You should always bring a banana to a party.
So, pray tell, who are you and what brings you to my barony? I trust you aren't stealing bodies?
No, we're helping bodies.
Yes, good, I see. So, have you any thoughts on the plague that my men are suffering from?
This is no plague. This is something else.
Really? What do you mean?
Bite marks on the neck, that's no plague. Green blood, nothing matched up with the plague. You're just so used to these infections running rife that you've just labelled it that. It's something more.
I see. Well, it all started around a week ago. There was a shooting star in the sky. Robert the Quack said that it was an omen of illness and evil, and so it has proved to be. Although our Reverend Geoffrey Simpson thinks that is mere witchcraft. But My men are poorly and stricken with the plague. I wonder whether you might see them.
Of course, lead on.
Okay. You're taken to one of the barracks where there's a number of the men that are very poorly and ill at ease. And they have these bite marks on their shoulder. And there's residues of green blood here, there and everywhere. Do you want to try using your medical skills?
It looks very much similar to what we've seen.
Indeed. When Robert the Quack was trying to tell everybody that this was an evil sign, our constable, Hugo Bright, arrested him. But then he too fell prey to the plague as well, and could no longer take care of law and order in our town. But what is odd is that although my men are stricken with it, not many have actually perished with it. In fact, hardly any at all, which is odd, is it not? I thought the plague was deadly and it killed many.
It does. What are the outcome of your men?
They have it, and it is disabling to them, but they do nothing. It doesn't kill them as such. It doesn't get worse. But there are rumours that in the night some of them get up and walk like the Walking Dead off to the north, always to the north.
Beyond the wall?
Indeed, beyond the walls of this castle, beyond Mortonbury village.
Orla, quickly, with the gloves and one of these sample pots from your medical bag, could you take me a sample which I can of the green blood, which I can put on the sonic to scan for it. Scan for what it's made up of, and then I'm going to use the sonic to interface with No Name's database to see if he's got any records of it, like just to boost up like our chance of getting a result.
Okay, so make an ingenuity plus technology roll. +2 for your sonic screwdriver.
Ingenuity.
Sorry, plus medicine, I beg your pardon.
Ingenuity plus medicine.
Yep.
Okay, so that is 12, 15 plus 16, 17, 19.
So that works. So, No Name, can you do an ingenuity plus knowledge roll, please?
5 and 3, 8. 8.
Okay, so what, you've got to roll.
Do I?
What, have you rolled? Did you roll the dice?
No, not yet.
Okay, if you want to roll and add that on, thank you very much.
Or was it knowledge?
Knowledge.
Right, yeah, so that's...
It's 15 altogether.
Oh, okay, thank you.
15? Yeah, okay. Okay, you're able to use the sonic screwdriver to interface with No Name's cybernetic implants, and calling upon the knowledge from that, you have come up with a diagnosis of, and I've got to get this right, sulfhemoglobinemia.
Sulfhemoglobinemia.
And that is a strange condition with far too much sulfur and iron in the blood. So it's very peculiar. You're bidden back into the council chamber to meet Lord Percival again.